is Tadej Pogacar domination, winning his 5th stage win in the final mountain stage of the 2024 Tour de France. Up here on the Col de la Couillole, riders are still coming in. We hear the crowds cheering for the Gruppetto, which includes some of the sprinters like Mark Cavendish, who won his 35th stage win in this year's Tour de France, Biniam Girmay in the green jersey. But today it was all about the sharp end of the race and the yellow jersey, that famous maillot jaune on this final 15-kilometer climb. It was his canvas, and he painted a masterpiece in cannibalization. 5th stage win in this tour, following up on his 4th yesterday, doing the double as he did last weekend in the Pyrenees, this time in the Alps. Tadej Pogacar has truly put his stamp on this race with one more day to go and a clear lead in the overall over second place, Jonas Vingegaard. And Jonas also finished second on the stage today. Pretty upbeat despite getting beat again by Tadej Pogacar. And over the line, crossing the stage, we saw Matteo Jorgensen, we saw Jonas Vingegaard. Matteo looked to Jonas and said, "Jonas, you've got the balls." Jonas, well, he tried today. What he did is he marked Remco Evenepoel because he knew Tadej Pogacar was out of reach. Now let's roll it back because it was a long, hard-fought stage. Long in altitude meters, long in time, not so long in distance. A relatively short stage, but 3 categorized climbs before the final push, the final ascent, the final big climb of the 2024 Tour de France. And we saw an escape go after a lot of fighting between riders that included Maillot Poix, the polka dot jersey, Richard Carapaz. Yesterday, he gained enough points to wear the jersey outright over Tadej Pogacar, and today he wanted to underline and confirm that lead so he could take it home tomorrow when the race finishes along the Côte d'Azur in Nice. And he did that. He was picking up KOM Preems along the way. Also in the group was Marc Soler from UAE Team Emirates, and I think he wanted to be in there because Visma and Bike, as it did yesterday, it put in 2 men. Wilco Kelderman, who was in the escape yesterday with Matteo Jorgensen, although today instead of Matteo, it was in the group. It was Jan Tratnik and Wilco Kelderman making this move that also included Tobias Johannesson from Team Uno X and Frenchman Romain Bardet, stage winner earlier on in this race on stage 1, taking the yellow jersey to boot. Now this stage, it would be fought out on the final climb. A lot of ups and downs before we got here. And what we saw today was not UAE team dominance, although they had the men and they were riding for Tadej, with guys like Sivakov doing his job, Nils Pollitt pulling in the early kilometers as well, and Adam Yates really doing the pace today and also moving himself up the GC, and we'll get to that here in a minute. It was Team Soudal Quickstep, the team of Mikel Landa, working for Remco Evenepoel, who sits 3rd overall in the GC. They were on the front, and I spoke with Mikel Landa afterwards. I said, "Mikel, why was the team working today? Was it to try to get you up in the GC ahead of João Almeida, who was 4th overall in the GC, or was it try to weaken Jonas Vingegaard and perhaps get Remco Evenepoel off in an attack and gain time enough to get the 2nd place overall, if not today, so he'd be close enough to do it tomorrow in the TT." Remember, Remco Evenepoel, world champion in the TT. Well, Mikel said it was both, but primarily to set up Remco Evenepoel, and Remco Evenepoel did not disappoint with that escape falling apart up front on the road. And we saw our last 2 riders remaining. It was Enric Mas and Richard Carapaz in the polka dot jersey, already a stage winner, wore the yellow jersey earlier on in this race. Those were the last 2 guys up the road. Romain Bardet was a little bit further down the road. Well, back behind, Remco Evenepoel lights it up, starts attacking. Once, Jonas Vingegaard was right there, but what it did is it just saw all the other riders fade away. They had to fight to get back, and that included Matteo Jorgensen, João Almeida. Derek G, unfortunately, had been dropped earlier on. And then Remco Evenepoel tried again. Try as he might, he could not crack the 2-time Tour de France winner. Remco Evenepoel, the Belgian wonder kid, world champion on the road, current world champion TT, and of course, Liège-Bastogne-Liège winner, Classics winner, and I want to underline this, Vuelta a España winner, Grand Tour winner from a few years ago, and he's here to get experience in his debut Tour de France, but he could not crack the top gun from Visma Bike, and Jonas Vingegaard defended him quite well. And then at one point, Remco Evenepoel's dropped, and it's just Jonas and Tadej, and they're coming up to the front duo of Carapaz and Mas. They would distance them, and then it was just the top 2 on the GC and the top 2 that were going to be competing for the stage win today. And a lot of talking was going on here in the press mix zone afterwards, also with the team press officers. What's Tadej going to do? Because he got all the hate overnight. Also, some of supporters as well saying, no, Tadej Pogacar should win everything possible. It's sport. There's a finish line, race, attack. And besides, Visma bike is trying to crush Tadej every day. Why would he gift the rival team a victory? Why would he do that? On the other hand, they say, well, it's a political game and that Tadej Pogacar shouldn't win too much, shouldn't stomp his rivals like a cigarette that's been smoked too much. He should let them have some victories so they don't come after him in the press. This hate doesn't start to grow around Tadej Pogacar. But you know what? I'm with the former. I love it when Tadej Pogacar throws it down, attacks hard. It gives us exciting racing. And had he gifted it to him today, well, it would have reminded me of the time Armstrong gifted Pantani the win up there on the Mont Ventoux. It wouldn't have gone down well, and I don't think Vingegaard would have wanted that either. Speaking with Jonas after the stage here, he said he would have done the same thing had he been in Tadej's position, although he wished he could have got the stage win. I don't think he would have wanted it gifted to him. So instead what we had was the Tadej Pogacar launch. In those final 250 meters, the yellow jersey fires up to the finish line, throws his hands up in victory, marking stage win number 5 in this Tour de France. After the Galibier stage, the 2 in the Pyrenees, now doing 2 in the Alps, is Tadej Pogacar. He is the number 1 in this race, and he underlined it today. Now, if he doesn't win the TT tomorrow, if it goes in the way of Remco, well, so be it. He comes away with 5 wins, but you know what? I think he could also win the TT tomorrow as well. Do it in the yellow jersey in the Tour de France in style. The first time the Tour de France has ended with a TT since 1989, and I think it's only the second ever time. Back then, Greg LeMond overthrew Laurent Fignon in a surprise victory on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. This year, we're finishing on the Promenade in Nice, and we're sure to have a nail-biter of a finish to underline what's been an exciting 2024 Tour de France. But up here today on the Col de la Couillole, well, it's Tadej Pogacar putting his fist down, dominating this Tour de France for stage win number 5 in stage 20.